I'm Roy, your friendly neighborhood East Coast aviator. I've had a passion for airplanes and adventure for as long as I can remember. Join me as I work towards my private pilot license and the stories that unfold along the way, embracing the chaos, one knot at a time. Top of the day to you, my friends. Your friendly neighborhood East Coast aviator here. So just an update. It's been a while. Didn't mean for it to be as long as it did. Life kind of got in the way, but kind of making my way back into it. I haven't flown in a while. Had a bunch of stuff happen. Fortunately, a number of people close passed, job lost, the whole 9 yards. So it's been a rough few months, but we're here. So what I've been doing now is getting myself back into the process of getting ready for my PPAER exam. Kind of ramping myself back in, and I figure I'd have a quick talk about what I'm doing to kind of prepare for that. So this is probably one of the most important steps. You have to do this. It's your last written test that you have to do. It's the one that, depending on how you do, will determine how long of a day you have with your check ride for the actual practical portion. But for me, I've been just focusing on the practice exams, reviewing the material, reviewing the notes that I've made through numerous sessions with my instructors. So the number one thing I would say is to do as many practice tests as you can. Now, Transport Canada does not give their exams out to the public. You're not going to find a database somewhere where it's word for word every single question that they're going to throw at you. But it's going to help prepare you for the types of questions, for the types of knowledge that you need to do and have in your head. Now, what I would say is to make notes on questions you get wrong, and then you can reinforce the knowledge that you need to do for that. Now, you don't need to get 100% on the test. Obviously, if you do, great. Some people do extremely well. Passing mark is 60 in the 4 categories, and you obviously want to do as well as you can in all of them. So do your practice tests until you get a minimum of 80%. I would say it was going to get you in a good spot. Obviously strive for higher, but bare minimum, make sure you're getting over 80 in all the tests. Now, Transport Canada does have a group of sample questions. I will put the link in the description below to that, because that is insanely helpful. That gives you the gist of what you're looking for. It's not the exact test you're going to get word for word, but it does cover all of the categories that they're going to throw at you, and it will give you a really good idea of what they're actually going to ask you. Be mindful, there is some trick questions in there. One that got me the last time that I wrote it, there is the air law, and then there's the answer they're actually wanting. And to me, I think that's just dirty on their part. They have you learn the air law. Now, at the time when I did the exam, it's changed back, but at the time it was 12 hours bottom of the throttle, as the saying goes, before you could operate as the pilot of command of an aircraft. However, the caveat is that what they're really looking for is 0% blood alcohol limit. That is the actual answer that they're looking for. You'll likely see. Now, it is 8 hours now. They did change that. Sorry, no, it was 12, then it was 8, and now it's 12 again. So they're going to give you that answer anyway, and it's going to be legally correct if you choose the 12 hours, but it's not correct. You need to look for the answer that gives you 0 blood alcohol, and they might not even have that on there. They might have like 24 hours. Well, you got to make sure, give a time frame that is going to be the maximum to achieve what they're looking for. They'll ask you other silly questions. I do recall some that, just made me kind of scratch my head. It's like, what the heck is this for? Why are we bothering with this one? But just be aware. They're going to throw some tricky stuff at you. And a lot of the times they'll ask you the same question in a couple different ways, just to kind of test your knowledge on it. But it's not impossible. You can pick up the exam preparation guide. Now my version is a couple years old. There's a newer version, but for the most part, even the older book is a good sample of what you're looking at, because again, each chapter gives you the categories, it gives you tests on the material. It's a really good way to lock that in. You should also know your spin and stall recovery. Now, if you've done the exam before you get too far, like some people will do all the written work first, then start to fly. You still want to go through the pilot training manual. You still want to get that information and get really familiar with stalling and spins and spiral dive recovery, because you will get asked those questions on there, and it's super important. Exam not even withstanding, it's important to know what to do if you're ever in that situation. But most times if you're in that situation, you screwed up. You weren't paying attention, and you have to get yourself out of the situation. So sometimes things happen you can't control, but be aware of the procedure and drill that in your head, and that'll help you get along. Now, you've heard me sing their praises before. I mean, I've been clearly, biased towards Hangar, but there are other great schools, Pilot Training Institute.ca, for example, in Canada. There's like Sporties and a bunch of them for our U.S. friends. But you're going to get practice exams. In some cases, you might get something that Hangar has. Hangar has timed practice exams, so it's more of a simulation of the real thing. And you can start off easy with just per category. There's a couple tests you can do just to kind of test your knowledge where you're at. And I've been doing well at those. I'm easing myself into the general 100-question practice tests. I'm probably going to go and refresh my navigation planning skills. Dig out the old map and the ruler, and you start calculating flight plans and practicing that. I can tell you from myself, I need to refresh my skills on lat-long coordinates, because that's one thing that I can say with the exam is that's how they're going to give you destinations. So they're going to you'll get a map. It's going to be one of a handful of tests depending on the region. I was lucky, got Moncton in. I'm really hoping I get Moncton in again the next time I write. It's okay if you don't pass it. I mean, for me, I was, I've told the story I think before on the channel, but I was quite sick and got in my head, and I didn't follow I'm safe principles for the written exam. I paid for it, aced parts of it, but it wasn't enough to do a partial retest, so I had to take the whole thing again. But I will get it this next time. I'll feel prepared for that. And Hangar's been great. They've been doing a wonderful job making sure that I'm fine-tuned, for success. And any ground school that you do should be really invested in, want to really make sure that you're successful. And I know of people that have gone through multiple times. There's no limit as far as how many times you can fail it, just penalties for how long before you can retake it. You want to get it the first shot if you can. Obviously, be prepared. And you do that by practice tests, you do that by reading the material. I acknowledge that the material can be pretty dry. It's not exciting to learn about, cumulus and strato clouds and all this stuff. It's something that you've never really had to worry about outside of piloting. but it's very important now. So, knowing this kind of stuff, knowing the air law, knowing your 100%, you're going to get questions on your VFR minimums. You're going to need to know your distances for populated areas. You got to know that you have to be, those distances away, and getting that practical knowledge is going to help you. Now, I haven't done my check ride yet, so I can't speak to what the actual experience is like, but as I understand it, you are going to get likely questioned on topics that you may have gotten wrong, so just try to make note of what you've got. And now Transport Canada, I'm fairly certain, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments for our American friends, but I believe that it's the same. But in Transport Canada, when you're done your test, they will give you a letter, or whether you pass or succeed, or fail. But it'll also give you a breakdown of what subjects you might have had trouble with, and that'll help you in reinforcing those. Regardless, when it comes to check ride time, you want to make sure that you're as prepared as you can be. So, I'll give you, an example of some questions. I'll just take some screenshots, for you guys to kind of show you, the sorts of questions that you're looking at for a practice exam. I'll show you a sample of my last practice test from Transport Canada. But that one is important. I would say focus on that one. Do your practice tests through your ground school. If they've got the actual, test simulator, I'll be doing the 3-hour full-on, okay, here's the test. Because that's the other thing. You've got the clock working against you, so getting efficient at the navigation portion is going to save your butt, I think. That's one thing I found, is that when I got to the navigation questions, that ate up a lot of time on the clock. And, if you get test anxiety, when it comes to written tests, I do. I'm confident in practice, but in, sitting down and doing a written test, ever since I was young, I've had anxiety over that. But you power through it, you get it done. But that's it for now, my friends. Hey, bud. So, just wanted to give an update on where things are at. I'm going to try to get things back up and going, and hopefully get the Discord up and running as well. Try and get the community growing. But hope you have a good time. Enjoy your summer. It is pretty warm here near CYSJ. We're sitting at about 35-ish degrees in my backyard right now, which is pretty crazy. Who'd have thought Canada gets warm, eh? But yeah, so have yourself a good day, guys. Tune in next time, like and subscribe. Really hope to get this rolling, get the community growing, and I hope you got something out of this. And we'll go ahead and I'll get the link to that exam down in the description to make it easy for you guys to find. And best of luck. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and embrace the chaos one knot at a time.